Good afternoon, this is Michael from Riverside Hotel's reservation desk. How may I assist you?
I know it's super last minute and I didn't book anything in advance, but is there any chance you might have a room available tonight?
This would be for tonight, correct? I can check availability. How many guests?
3 of us, me and my 2 kids. If there's anything open, honestly, the cheapest option is totally fine. I know that's not ideal, but I'd really appreciate any help.
And may I confirm, are you looking for a standard room or one of our executive or luxury suites?
Well, actually, we're in a bit of a rough situation. It's kind of embarrassing to explain, but we got pickpocketed at the train station earlier. All our money and cards got stolen. I filed a report and everything, but obviously that doesn't get us our stuff back. I had a hotel booked already, but once they heard we couldn't pay up front, they canceled our check-in. So now I'm just trying every hotel nearby. I found yours because you have chat-based reservations, which is a lifesaver. I'm really hoping you might have something.
I see. I'm terribly sorry to hear about your situation. However, if payment cannot be confirmed at check-in, I'm afraid we would be unable to accommodate your request.
I completely understand, but just give me a minute to explain. My husband is flying in tomorrow. He's been on a temporary job assignment, and he's meeting us here. He'll pay the full amount then, I promise. If we could just stay one night, I'll check out first thing in the morning. We'll settle everything properly. I'm not trying to scam anyone. I just don't want to be out in the cold with 2 little ones.
Unfortunately, Ms. I didn't catch your name.
Oh, sorry. It's Autumn.
Ms. Autumn, I do understand what you're saying, but we are a luxury establishment. We cater to clients with a certain consistency of means. We're not in the habit of extending charity.
I'm not asking for charity. I'm offering to pay, just a little delayed. I'll even write and sign whatever form you want, just to prove I'm serious. Please, just one night.
Be that as it may, we cannot run a business based on verbal assurances. It's a slippery slope. Anyone could walk in claiming hardship and promising future payment.
I get that. I do. But we're not just anyone. We're a family. I have 2 tired kids sitting on a bench in a train station right now. I don't know where else to go.
I'm sorry, but persistence won't change policy. We are not some roadside inn that operates on IOUs.
Please, they're 6 and 8 years old. We've been walking around for hours. They're exhausted. Even just a floor, a chair, anything with heat and a roof. I'll do anything to make this work.
You are being quite pushy, Ms. Autumn. It's not a flattering look. Perhaps that works elsewhere, but not here. I don't believe you realize where you're trying to stay. Riverside Hotel is part of a luxury brand chain with elite clientele across the country. This isn't the kind of place where you work something out.
I'm not trying to make trouble. I just didn't know who else to ask. You're the only hotel that even answered me. That alone gave me hope.
Let me be blunt. People in your financial brackets simply don't stay here. That's not judgment, it's reality. You'd be more comfortable somewhere simpler, or frankly, a shelter.
Wow. Okay. I didn't expect kindness, but I also didn't expect to be talked down to like that.
It's not personal, it's practicality. We've dealt with guests who vanish without paying, and it's always the same type. Begging, promising, then gone by morning.
That's not me. I'm not trying to trick anyone. Just trying to make it until tomorrow morning.
And if your mystery husband doesn't arrive, then what? We foot the bill? You vanish into the wind like others have? No, thank you.
I won't vanish. You have my name, my number, my ID. I'll leave anything you ask with the front desk until the payment is settled. My word means something.
I'm sure it does to you, but not to our accounting department, nor to our standards. No payment, no room.
You mentioned checking availability earlier. You said you'd confirm. Does that mean you do have a room open?
That was before I realized the situation. The room is no longer available. We are unfortunately at full capacity now.
Well, that sounds like a convenient excuse.
Call it what you like, but here's a reality check. You shouldn't try to live above your means. Sleep under a bridge if you have to. That's more fitting.
Wow.
This conversation is over. Goodbye. This is Michael from Riverside Hotel Reservations. How may I help you?
I'm not sure if you'll remember me, but we chatted here a few nights ago. I reached out about booking a room on short notice.
You'll have to be more specific. We get a lot of late-night inquiries.
It was around midnight 3 days ago. I asked if you had any rooms for me and my 2 kids. I said we'd just been pickpocketed.
Oh, right, that one. The sob story. You said you had no money and expected us to put you up anyway.
I asked if there were any affordable rooms available, and you told me to go sleep under a bridge.
I see, so you've returned to lodge a complaint then. If that's the case, you should contact the local Department of Transportation. They handle bridge complaints. If you're expecting compensation from us, however, I can tell you that our policy doesn't cover people who never actually stayed with us.
I'm not here to complain. I'm here to introduce myself properly. I wasn't exactly upfront with you last time.
What's that supposed to mean?
My name is Autumn Rivers. I'm the general manager overseeing all Riverside Hotel Group properties nationwide.
I'm sorry, you're what?
The general manager. I report directly to the board of directors.
No, that doesn't make any sense. That's not possible. You were saying you got robbed. You were begging for a room. That wasn't real?
That's correct. It was a test. A fabricated scenario. I was conducting a surprise audit.
A what? You lied? That whole story was fake?
Right again. The story of being stranded was part of a service quality audit. I wanted to evaluate how staff members respond to vulnerable last-minute guests, especially through digital communication like this chat system.
You're serious right now? You just made that whole thing up? What kind of person does that?
A manager who wants to know what actually happens when no one's watching. This wasn't random. We recently introduced this chat booking tool across the company. I wanted to know how well it was being used, not just logistically, but ethically.
I don't believe this. So you tricked me into thinking you were some desperate traveler with no money just to test me?
3 for 3. That was the point. To simulate a difficult situation and see how our staff react.
This is ridiculous. You can't just pretend to be poor and desperate and then say, "Surprise, I'm corporate." That's manipulative.
What's manipulative is pretending that your behavior was justifiable. This wasn't about catching someone in a lie. It was about revealing how you treat people you think can't fight back. I gave you a scenario. What you chose to do with it was entirely up to you. And what you chose was cruelty, mockery, classist rhetoric.
Okay, hold on. Let's calm down. Let's just breathe for a second. There's no need to jump to conclusions. I didn't mean anything personal. I was doing my job.
You weren't doing your job, Michael. You were abusing your position. There is nothing in the Riverside Handbook that authorizes staff to belittle guests or make personal judgments about their worth.
So what, you're going to fire me over this? Over one bad conversation? I've worked here for years. I've got nothing but excellent reviews.
And yet in one interaction, you managed to completely undermine the values we claim to uphold. This isn't about years worked. It's about what you revealed when no one was watching. You are being provisionally terminated. Final decision will come after full review by upper management, but I've submitted my findings.
You can't be serious. This is going to ruin me. You're going to destroy someone's career over one chat message?
You weren't punished for one message. You were evaluated on your character, and unfortunately, it failed the test.
Please, there has to be another way to handle this. A warning? A write-up? Something less extreme than termination? I was caught off guard.
And the guests we serve often are, too. Emergencies and unexpected situations are when we're supposed to rise above, not collapse into cruelty.
Ms. Rivers, please, I'm asking you as someone who's worked here for years, don't let this one misunderstanding end everything.
This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a display of your values when no one was watching. And it was unacceptable.
I honestly thought it was a prank. I wouldn't have said any of those things if I knew who you were. I thought someone was just wasting my time.
So if I had actually been poor and desperate, then what? I deserve to be insulted, mocked, told to go sleep outside?
No, I mean, of course not. I didn't realize. I didn't think you were a real guest.
every person who contacts us is a real guest until proven otherwise. And even then, there's a standard for how we speak to people.
Look, I know I came off harsh. I panicked. I felt like someone was trying to scam the hotel. You have to understand, we get weird messages all the time.
That's not an excuse. Our training materials couldn't be clearer. You treat everyone with dignity every single time, regardless of their situation, regardless of whether they can pay right away.
But there are scammers, you know that! People try to take advantage of us. How are we supposed to know who's genuine?
You don't always know, but it's not your job to decide who deserves compassion. Your job is to offer the same respectful treatment to everyone who walks through our door or sends us a message.
I didn't think it was going to go this far. I mean, I was just doing what I thought was best.
Let me tell you what best looked like at other properties. Because this wasn't just your branch. I ran this exact same audit at multiple locations.
You did?
Yes, one location was full, but the front desk staff apologized profusely. Then they called 3 nearby hotels to help me find a place. Another location offered to send their hotel shuttle to pick me up from the station, just so I wouldn't have to wait in the cold even if I couldn't stay there. And at one hotel, the night chef came out personally. He brought me into the break room, said I could stay warm there until morning, and offered me soup from the staff kitchen.
You're kidding me! All that for someone who said they couldn't pay?
No, I'm not kidding, because some of our staff understand what hospitality means. It's not just about selling rooms, it's about being human. Those people didn't know who I was. They had no reason to believe I was anything other than what I claimed, and they still acted with empathy. Meanwhile, you responded with condescension, judgment, and open cruelty. You mocked my story. You told me to go sleep under a bridge.
I wasn't thinking straight. I was exhausted. My girlfriend had just broken up with me, and I'd picked up extra shifts to distract myself. I was running on no sleep. It wasn't personal.
Well, let me stop you right there. Professionals don't take out their bad day on customers. We don't get to lash out just because we're hurting. That's not how this works. You weren't just rude, you were cruel, and you made it clear that your default setting when no one is looking is contempt.
I swear that's not who I really am. I just had a lapse, a really bad moment.
Then I suggest you reflect on why, when faced with someone vulnerable, your instinct was to kick them down instead of offering a hand. Because this job and this entire industry is built on compassion. And you treated it like a club to swing at people you thought were beneath you. You didn't just disrespect me. You disrespected the very mission of this hotel. A few days after our chat, I visited the Riverside Hotel in person. I brought 2 senior executives with me and printed copies of the entire conversation. When I passed them out at the meeting, the room went quiet. No one needed clarification. The tone, the arrogance, the cruelty, it was all there in plain text. I had every intention of firing Michael on the spot, but before I could even begin my prepared statement, he dropped to his knees, not figuratively, literally. He apologized over and over, voice shaking, eyes glassy. He didn't make excuses this time. He just asked for a chance to make it right. Against my better judgment, I gave him one. He was demoted immediately and ordered to repeat our full new hire training from day 1. Not a refresher, full onboarding. He would relearn what he clearly forgot. I also mandated retraining sessions for the entire team. No one operates in a vacuum. I made one thing very clear. There will be no second chances. Since then, I've watched him closely. No complaints, no sulking, just quiet, focused effort. People who can own their worst moments and still choose growth, those are the ones worth keeping.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.